It's kind of crazy to think about how just a year ago, people were talking about Malik Willis as a potential number 2 overall draft selection. Ends up falling to the 3rd round and did not have a good rookie season. If you like PFF grades, his grades were not very good. 51.9 overall grade, but a passing grade of just 39.8. This is well below average, and we're actually talking below replacement level territories at this point. The rushing was good though, so rushing kind of saved him in a way, but the overall grade was sort of around replacement level, I would say. Also, not that a touchdown to interception ratio in a small sample size really means that much, but no passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions, not exactly ideal. You compare that to his overall grade in 2021 and kind of, what happened in college, the 2 years that he was a starter there at Liberty. Again, the passing grade was not spectacular. A 77.4 overall passing grade. It really was his rushing and also just the deep stuff. Deep grade of 96.6 was incredible, but the intermediate stuff was actually a disaster. I mean, he was really a deep ball thrower and a runner of the football, and we knew that going in, right? We knew this is an incredibly raw prospect, and why some people really didn't like him and why he wasn't drafted in the 1st or 2nd round was due to the fact that he had some real issues in his game, and it's just a very raw player in general. But okay, let's watch some tape. We saw some tape of his, and again, as of right now, he's the 3rd string quarterback on the roster. They drafted Will Levis in round 2. But let's talk about maybe where he could potentially go from here. So first, what went wrong? I have to say, it was a tough situation that he got brought into. It's not like he was going out there and there was guys wide open for him to throw the ball to. The way this play works is it's going to be a designed rollout to the bottom of the screen. Willis takes the snap, he's going to run over in that direction, and you see, I don't know, maybe you could make one of these throws. It's not wide open, and that is something that honestly was an issue in college, and even bigger issue in the NFL, is he sometimes doesn't trust his arm enough. He has a pretty good arm, sometimes take a chance, but I'm not sure if this is one he should. I don't hate the idea in him not throwing the football. What he's going to do instead is what he did in college. Hey, what is he good at? Running the football, right? That's one of the things he really excels at, and in college, he could take off and turn these types of situations into touchdowns sometimes, but in the NFL, it just doesn't work out that way. Watch as you see, that's what he's going to try and do, and it just does not work out. He ends up getting sacked right there. Willis did take too many sacks as a rookie. That's just something that happened where he trusted his legs too much, and again, it's kind of understandable, right? I mean, this is something you expected to happen, and part of why people felt like he was such a project is because he's the kind of guy who could, take too many sacks, and he could maybe try to run the ball when he wouldn't be able to at the NFL level. Things like that, among other issues. But like this play's another one. I can't really tell if this is a designed quarterback run. I believe it is. I believe this is a designed quarterback run. I believe that's what they're doing here. Either way, Willis takes the snap and is ready to rush up pretty quickly. And again, there does appear to be a rushing lane, and in college, this would be a great situation. However, here, not so much. You have a defender reach out and knock him down, and they do not gain a ton of yards right there. And that's just kind of what happened, was Willis, when he tried to rush with the football, it just was not as effective. That was a big, I think, damaging factor at the NFL level, is we've seen guys come in, and even if they haven't fully developed as a passer, Fields and Lamar Jackson both come to mind right when they came in, although both of them, I think, have been more effective as a passer than Willis has, certainly. But a big thing that they did well was their running ability kind of made them good right away, and that kind of gave them some extra time. Willis just didn't have that. Also, stuff like this is a layup play. I mean, it's zone coverage. You're just trying to hit someone underneath. This is a play that really you have to hit consistently if you're going to make this throw. Watch how when this play begins, like I said, it's a layup. It's open. This is a throw that you have to make. But Willis had some, I would say, footwork issues in the NFL level. Again, probably not used to having pressure get to him that quickly. He ends up throwing off balance, and that throw is incomplete. Again, if you can't hit the layups, you just can't succeed at the NFL level. It's really that simple. And Willis had some throws where he just struggled. And the reality is, there's kind of a reason why the Tennessee Titans decided to draft Will Levis. And everyone kind of brings up the, Will Levis versus Ryan Tannehill thing and saying, okay, clearly they can't trust Tannehill that much if they're drafting these other quarterbacks. And I think that's true. I think that to some degree, they like Ryan Tannehill, but don't know if they can win a Super Bowl paying Ryan Tannehill $36 million a year. I think that's probably fair. And so they're kind of looking for upgrades without breaking the bank to try and get an upgrade using a bunch of first-round picks or something like that. But I find, another interesting aspect of the Will Levis, decision is that, listen, they know more about Malik Willis than we do. We've just seen the tape. And the fact that they have decided, you know what, we don't trust we don't trust Malik Willis as a guy who could potentially come in and be a star quarterback for us and be an upgrade over Tannehill, so much so that we're basically going to do the exact same thing again, drafting a prospect that some people like, but some people have issues with, but this time just in, round 2 instead of round 3, kind of is not a great sign for Malik Willis, in my opinion. Again, going over to something like this, I do want to be clear. I think there was a tough situation. I think when you play the Texans, you just assume that there's going to be guys wide open constantly, but that's not really what happened when he played the Texans. It's not really what happened when he was out there in general. I'm not saying there weren't individual plays when guys were open, but there were some tough spots. Like this one, it's going to be man coverage across the board. The route he's going to want to throw to is going to be the one second closest towards the sideline, towards the bottom of the screen. And watch how when this play begins, you're going to see that it's just not open. There isn't separation right here. And to be honest, I probably would rather him try to run at this point than try to make this throw. Also worth noting, this is a 4th down situation, so definitely make the throw versus throw the ball away, right? If this is 1st down, probably the right idea to throw the ball away, but this is not 1st down. Take a chance and see what happens. It's not the worst idea in the world, but just nothing's open. Willis tries anyway, and it's going to fall incomplete, which is not ideal. But again, this is just something that we saw. This is something that happened. There were some real issues for Malik Willis as he was trying to consistently be able to move the ball down the field that were outside of his control. But that being said, that's not to absolve him of the blame. He also struggled when he was out there as well, missed too many layups. And I think maybe to me, the most concerning thing, listen, at the end of the day, you do have to get the simple stuff under control. You do. And the fact that he didn't is definitely not ideal, but that's not the only aspect of football, is getting the simple stuff under control. If you can make the splash plays happen, I think the Titans might not have drafted Will Levis, and maybe they would have stuck with Malik Willis as a potential flyer option for another season. But he wasn't able to get those home runs either. You picked the guy that, to use a baseball comparison, could hit the ball 500 feet, out of the park or whatever, but maybe would strike out a lot. The issue is now you've called him up to the majors, and the strikeouts are still there, but he's not hitting the home runs either. And because of that, I don't think that's more concerning in a way than the other stuff, because at least Zach Wilson, who earned a second year largely due to just when he was drafted, at least with him, he did show those occasional oh wow, that was a splash play. If he can just get the little stuff under control, he could be good, and it's never got the little stuff under control, so that's that. But for Malik Willis, he hasn't yet, I would say he's been better than Zach Wilson in terms of the simple stuff. He has not had the home runs, and I think that means that at this point, what are you exactly doing hoping to develop him when he still doesn't have those splash plays, is kind of how I view it. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.